Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be about the founder of Mughal dynasty whom we know as Zahiruddin Babur. Before we actually proceed with the table of contents, I would like to tell you guys that I have made many number of videos regarding Indian history on my channel. If you feel like, if you wish, you can download it by clicking on the iCard button. Also, you can get the PDF of the video lecture in the description box below. I'll attach a link for the same. Now let's move further and see the table of contents that we have. So very formally, we are going to learn about the background or the early life of Zahiruddin Babur. Now the basic point towards explaining you a specific topic in this format is to make you people or to give you people ample content to so that you all can make a full-fledged concrete notes out of this video lecture. So which is why I have always come up with any video in this particular format. Post early life, we will see the administrative policies or the battles which Babur undertook or the battles which he fought. Afterwards, we will list down 4 to 5 achievements of Babur and we will wrap up the video after discussing his death and who succeeded Babur. If you had watched my previous video on this channel, then there is a separate video made on a battle of Panipat, wherein we saw that Babur had defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat, after which he laid the foundation of the grand, majestic Mughal Empire. And also, before starting with this video, I would want you guys to get acquainted with the fact or the reasons which propagated coming of Babur to India. So the first immediate reason was the disintegration of the Indian states due to the lack of unity among the people. So internal rulers were doing planning and plotting against each other. They were conspiring against each other. So naturally there was a lack of unity and integrity in the Indian kingdoms. So this was one of the reasons which propagated coming of Babur to the throne. The second was the defeat of Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat. So after Ibrahim Lodi died in the first battle of Panipat, there was no able administrator who would carry forward the lineage which the Delhi Sultanate had left. So after winning the battle of Panipat, Babur ascended the throne. So Babur was also known as Zahiruddin Muhammad and he was the founder of the great Mughal dynasty in India. So the founding stone was led by Babur himself and he was the first administrator of the Mughal dynasty in India. He was born on 14th February 1483 in Fargana, Uzbekistan. I hope you do not find any difficulty in remembering this specific date. Okay, so if you see the map of world map, then Uzbekistan is situated in the central part of Asia. I have just attached this map for the sake of an easy reference. So if you see, Uzbekistan is located in the central part of Asia. Now, moving further, Babur was the descendant of Timur, and Timur was one of the greatest rulers of Turkish origin. So from his paternal side, he was the descendant of Timur, but on his mother's side, or what you call as maternal side, Babur was the descendant of Genghis Khan. Now, I would tell you guys a very interesting fact about Mughal rulers. So if you surf through the pages of the history, you would know that the Mughals did not like to be, called or addressed as Mongols, because Genghis Khan, who the Babur was descendant of from his mother's side, was associated with killing of good number of people. So they did not like the fact that they are being addressed as the descendant of Genghis Khan, because of some sort of black spot associated with them. So this was a brief fact I needed to tell you guys. Now let's move. Babur had many wives, amongst whom the most important was Mahem Begum, because she was the mother of Humayun, who later on went on to become the second most important ruler of Mughal dynasty. So these were few basic informations regarding the early life or initial days of Babur. Now we shall quickly move on to learning about his administrative policies or the battles which he undertook. So when we talk about the administrative policies of Babur, we generally do not find sufficient content on this aspect, and rightly so, because if we leave his first battle of Panipat, then there is no major achievement listed to his name. Yet let's see few pointers here and there. When Babur came to throne, he conquered Samarkand, but while conquering Samarkand, he lost Fargana. And in order to reconquer Fargana, he lost hold of Samarkand. So this was going vice versa. When he was able to conquer Samarkand, he lost hold of Fargana. When he went on to reconquer Fargana, he lost hold of Samarkand, which previously was listed to his name. In 1501, Babur diligently tried to capture both the regions of Fargana and Samarkand, but he was defeated by Muhammad Shaybani Khan in his attempt. So in 1501, Babur made an attempt to capture both the regions, but he was defeated by Muhammad Shaybani Khan in his attempt. In 1504, Babur, after years of wandering, he captured or seized Kabul. By the way, Kabul is situated in Afghanistan. In 1526, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the much talked about the first battle of Panipat. So I have made a detailed video on the first battle of Panipat. I'll attach a link in the I button. You can surf through that if you wish, if you feel like. After Babur's win in the first battle of Panipat, he gained control over Agra and Delhi. So after Babur managed to defeat Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat, there was no able ruler left to carry forward the lineage of the Delhi Sultanate. So it ultimately led to the foundation of the Mughal dynasty, and when Babur won the battle of Panipat, he completely got control over two prominent cities, which are Agra and Delhi. His another battle was fought at Kanwa, where he defeated a Rajput ruler, Rana Sanga. So Babur fought another battle. This was the Battle of Kanwa, in which he managed to defeat the great Rajput ruler Rana Sanga. In 1528, he defeated Rajputs of Chanderi. Now, by the way, the Battle of Chanderi was the result of Battle of Kanwa. So it was fought in retaliation. So Battle of Chanderi was fought in retaliation to the Battle of Kanwa. Now, after having discussed about his battles and administrative policies, let us note some of Babur's achievements. So when we talk about the achievements of Babur, he had 4 or 5 achievements listed to his name. First of all, Babur's army was extremely modern, well equipped with firearms, gun artilleries, which was a bonus factor which contributed in his winning the first battle of Panipat. And if you remember, or if you surf through that video, the first battle of Panipat, you will see that Ibrahim Lodi's army was very weak, very obsolete. He had manpower, he had thousands of elephants, but his army was not very technical, modernized, or his army was not well equipped in comparison to the army of Babur. So Babur's army was very modern. they had well-equipped arms, munitions and gun artilleries, which helped him win the first battle of Panipat. After defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the first battle of Panipat, Babur led... Okay, so a big credit comes to Babur's name, as he laid the foundation of the majestic Mughal Empire, which contributes to major portion of medieval Indian history. So this is one of the big achievements listed under the name of Babur. Now, Babur was supremely ambitious ruler. He was very resilient, very determined. Despite failing, as I already mentioned, despite failing in capturing the territories of Samarkand, Fargana, he was while he was capturing one, he was losing another. While he was capturing another, he was losing the previous territory. Despite all these problems and obstacles, he did not give up, and eventually he gained control over those regions, and he was successful. So this can be counted as a great achievement of Babur. Also, Babur fought 3 major battles: Battle of Panipat, Battle of Kanwa and the Battle of Chanderi. In the first Battle of Panipat, I have said it 1,000 times, Ibrahim Lodi was defeated. Babur emerged victorious. In the second battle of in the second battle, which was the Battle of Kanwa, he managed to defeat the great Rajput ruler Rana Sanga. And in Babur's third battle, which is the Battle of Chanderi, he was successful, and Battle of Chanderi was the result of the Battle of Kanwa. So these were some of the major achievements listed under the Babur's name. Now we shall wrap up this video after discussing his death and succession. So Babur died at the age of 47 in 1530, and sources suggest 2 major reasons for Babur's death. Some sources suggest that he was poisoned to death because Ibrahim Lodi's mother had conspired against Babur, and to seek a revenge, she poisoned him to death. So this was one reason which states Babur's death. The another reason is very uncanny, very unusual, but sources suggest that when Humayun, Babur's son Humayun, was sick, he was very ill once. So in order to save his son's life, he prayed to God that his son should be saved, and in return the God should take his life. So this is very uncanny reason or very uncanny belief, but sources suggest that, so I felt it necessary to disperse it to you guys. And Babur was succeeded by his eldest son Humayun, who became the second largest or the greatest ruler of the majestic Mughal dynasty. And that's a wrap, guys. I hope you liked the video. The notes of the video will be linked in the description below. You can check that out. You can download it from there. Also, if you liked the video, then please consider liking it, sharing, subscribing, commenting if you have any suggestions or pointers regarding my improvement. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you want to be connected with me. Thank you and have a nice day.